Hello guys, this is the Pygame Extra tutorial, episode 2, and in this tutorial we're going to look at shapes. So, let's get started. In the last video we made this simple game loop where we can run and fill our screen with white. That's basically all that it does. So if we run this, you'll notice it just has the screen run before it. We're not gonna make it resizable this time though, so we can just remove this whole thing entirely. Okay, so let's add some shapes now. We're gonna go p.draw. This is the function for drawing shapes, and there's a few things we can do now. So we have line, we have rect, circle, and ellipse. Let's start with the line. So here we have first is the color actually. p.color.black, let's say, or you can again use the RGB. Now here's the position, and what this is, we have start at position X, start position Y, and then to the coordinates that it goes to. So in this case we're just gonna go from the start position of the screen to the end position of the screen. You can also get the screen size if you really want it to. And then we're going to get a width, so this is the width of the line. Let's just go nice thick 15 here and run this. Okay, there it is. So it's a nice thick line going from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen. And if we did the following, say we stored it in a variable here, size. So if we get the screen size over here, we can go something along the lines of size 0 over here, size 1. And basically, if we make this a resizable screen, you can now see that the line will, change to fit the screen. So if I go like such, you can see that it now fits in this new area. Can open it on full screen, just does that. Alright, so yeah, that's basically that. Now we're going to go over the rect, so let's remove the whole thing. p.draw, and we're going to look at the rect. So again, the first thing is the color. We're just going to go p.color here. Let's go for, red this time. And here we want the rect. Now the rect here is a little different. It's the starting position. So let's say we go for 50 now. So it starts at 50, 50. And it goes on for 50, 50. Now you might think this is just going to make a 0-sized rect, but no. So it starts at this position and expands. This is the width and the height of the rectangle. So with that, we're just going to set the width, say a nice fat 15. Now if you set this to 0, it's going to make it filled, so it's going to be a filled rectangle. So let's take a look at what 15 looks like. There we go. So we have this nice little rectangle here. Maybe a little bit too fat. So yeah, that's a nice little rectangle there. Maybe we'll make it a little bit larger. And if we now set this to 0 instead, you'll notice that it'll fill it. So you notice that now it's filled. Alright, now let's take a look at the circle. Now the circle is, it's actually a pretty nice function. Okay, let's set the color, p.color.aqua, let's say. Position, and this is going to be the center position of your circle. So let's say we put that at the center. So here we can use a nifty little math function, p.math.center, and we'll simply supply the rect here. So it's going to start at 0, it's going to start at 0, 0, and it's going to expand to our screen size. And in fact, we can get the screen size here, but okay, sure, we'll get the screen size here. So p. and we'll just apply it here. So we're gonna go size 1 here, size 0, and we're gonna obviously supply our width. So let's say 5 here. Actually, there's two things. So this is the radius, and then the width. So yeah, the size or the radius and the width. So we're going to have a radius of say 15 and a width of 5. This is the line up. And again, if you set this to 0, it'll fill it in. So what we're doing here is we're drawing a circle, an aqua circle. And the position is p.math.center. So it's going to center it within this rect. This is the same as the draw.rect. So we're starting at 0, 0, and we're going so the entire screen size. So that means that our circle will appear in the middle of our screen. And that is what we get. If we were to change the screen, it stays in the middle. It's a really nice function. Alright. And if we set this to 0, the width to 0, it's gonna fill it in. And again, we can, really nice. Alright, so we're going to do the ellipse now. Now you can think of the ellipse as basically a rect circle. So we're going to go p.color. Gray this time, for example. So we're going to supply the rect now. Actually, let's go for very dark gray. You can see all the attributes here. Alright, so let's start at, I don't know, 100, and span 800, 800. And again, we want a width. And let's take a look at this now. Yeah, actually the ellipse doesn't have a width, I think. Let me see here. Yeah, so it's, yeah, so this is basically it. Now, you might think this is black, so let's change it to something more recognizable. Let's say yellow. And here's a yellow circle. You can call this your sun if you want. And we can do something like -50 here. -50. And it's gonna do what you think it does. It's gonna draw us a little sun here. Alright. That's basically the drawing function. That's basically all we're taking a look at in this video. Now there is something you'll notice on any drawing function, anything that draws, it has a layer. Now what this layer does is, well, I'm not going to explain it now, but we'll explain it in another video. But basically the layer can be enabled, disabled, and offset. And so depending on, it's usually 0 for everything without a set layer. But if you do set a layer, it's gonna take the effects of that layer. It might not appear at all, or it might be offset to a different position. So I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'll see you in the next video.